NASA's live stream suddenly went silent, and what they saw changed everything. It was supposed to be just another sky scan, a deep space telescope quietly sweeping the stars from its post above the Pacific, while scientists monitored the data as they always do. Then something appeared, an object that was fast, strange, and close. Seconds later, the live stream went dark. No announcement, no error message, just silence. Soon after, the footage vanished, erased from servers, archives, and backups as if it had never existed. Then physicist Brian Cox stepped forward. His words were clear and chilling. This might rewrite everything we thought we knew about deep space. The object was later named Oumuamua, a reference to the mysterious interstellar visitor Oumuamua seen in 2017. But unlike the first, this one didn't just fly by. It stopped. It turned. It sent a signal, a sequence of prime numbers, the kind of code intelligent civilizations might use to say, "We're here." What happened next was even stranger. The Voyager probe, launched in the 1970s and not built to receive or transmit signals like this, responded. It sent back a return signal, encrypted, organized, not random noise. This isn't science fiction. It's happening. Cox didn't call it contact. He called it something else, judgment. And if you're reading this, you're part of the story now. So what makes Oumuamua different? At first glance, it looked like a comet or asteroid, long, narrow, spinning slowly. But then it changed direction. It slowed down. It stopped in space. That doesn't happen naturally. There were no visible engines, no tail, no outgassing. Its movement was intentional. Cox called it non-ballistic motion, the kind of movement that only happens when something is being steered. NASA's deep space antennas picked up rhythmic micro-vibrations, suggesting an internal system running. Odd heat patterns, not from the sun, pulse from the object, as if it were regulating its temperature or hiding. This wasn't random or chaotic. It was controlled, purposeful. This wasn't a rock. It was a message. And then, like a switch flipped, NASA shut everything down. Data stopped flowing. Observatories stopped updating logs. Servers went offline. People began asking, what are we not being told? A pattern was emerging. This wasn't the first anomaly, but it was the first that felt like a response. Signals had been dismissed before, glitches, solar noise, but this time was different. The object wasn't just passing by. It wasn't moving on. It was parked in geosynchronous orbit, hovering silently above Earth. Brian Cox warned, "We've crossed a line, not of discovery, but of recognition. The sky hasn't changed. The stars are still where they've always been. But the silence now feels like someone, or something, is listening." Then came the reply. Just before NASA cut the feed, light pulses beamed from Oumuamua toward Earth's atmosphere. At first, they looked like random flickers, maybe sunlight reflecting. But a sequence soon emerged. 1, 3, 5, 7, 11. Prime numbers. The universal language of intelligence. Carl Sagan once said, if we ever received a message from beyond, it would start with primes. And just before the blackout, that's exactly what Earth received, a message in the silence. It wasn't only NASA that caught it. Independent observatories in Chile and South Africa reported the same beam of light aimed not at deep space, but at Earth. Instruments detected electromagnetic pulses. Magnetometers picked up vibrations in the upper atmosphere. No damage, no threat, just presence. It felt less like contact and more like a ping, a test, a handshake, and then silence. The live stream crashed instantly. Footage vanished. Servers were wiped. Access was restricted. An unnamed researcher later admitted, "It's not what we saw that unnerved us. It's what we felt. It felt deliberate." The shape was also familiar. Back in 2017, scientists in Hawaii had spotted something similar, naming it Oumuamua, Hawaiian, for a messenger from afar arriving first. It wasn't from our solar system. It moved unnaturally, reflected light in strange ways, and even accelerated on its own. Harvard's Avi Loeb stunned the scientific community by suggesting it might have been alien technology. a light sail harnessing solar radiation. But before it could be studied further, it was gone. Out of range. Out of reach. This time was different. Oumuamua stayed. Same shape, same spin, same enigma, but instead of flying past, it paused. It changed course. It looked back. Then, just before the signal, it pulsed light toward Earth in a precise mathematical rhythm. Not coincidence. Some now believe Oumuamua isn't a visitor at all, but something else entirely. A probe, a sensor, a watcher. Perhaps it was waiting for a condition to be met. Perhaps we just triggered it. Cox suggested a new theory. This might not be first contact, but first reaction. Not a ship, not a threat, a test. If we just crossed it, what happens next? Are we being watched? Maybe it isn't sending messages or even moving. Maybe it's doing something far more profound. Listening, watching, waiting. Cox warned that we may have triggered an interstellar tripwire. Imagine this. What if advanced civilizations placed silent devices across the galaxy, not to visit or talk, but to observe? Like cosmic sentinels, dormant until a certain intelligence finally noticed them. Not ships, not probes, sensors. And what if the moment we noticed Oumuamua, it noticed us back? This might not be first contact. It might be first acknowledgement. Some scientists believe we're not being ignored. We're being evaluated. Oumuamua could be part of a vast passive network designed to monitor developing civilizations.